state of McKinsey kind of few numbers. So a recent McKinsey survey, 9 in 10 executives and managers say their organizations either face skill gaps already or expect gaps to develop within the next few years. But although effective reskilling tends to bring a productivity uplift, and this is kind of said about 6 to 12%, by the time companies figure out how to reskill, is it too expensive? Is it too late to kind of transform? From your experience, is this something that kind of resonates with you? Is it something that you kind of feel you notice in some of the things that you do?
Yeah, I think the point is you've got to have a planning process which is intuitive and is linked into the strategy, how the business competes, and the future direction of the organization. Because you're right, if you're doing it in real time, you're always going to lag. So if someone comes to me and goes, tell you what, Kev, we've got a major, great problem. We've got these 2-3 big projects in digital and we haven't got the capability. My ability to develop it quickly is going to be, it's unlikely that I've got a chance of delivering it. So I then have to go to the market. Then I'm paying a premium to bring people in that have already got the skills and been developed by someone else. That's a very costly exercise. However, if someone could say, we think we're going to be an app-based organization in 3 years' time, and I'm going to need a development function, some people that do coding. They give me 3 years, I can bring graduates in, I can find people that have got the aspirations to do those roles, and I can put in place a development program that delivers the capability. So it does show you that this is about planning. HR functions and training and development functions aren't good at planning. They don't work at 3 years out. And if you're not working 3 years out, you're always on the back foot. If you think about great organizations, and I can talk about a few I've worked with, but I think of a big aerospace manufacturer that I did some work with. But 10-year forward plan of the technical capabilities that they were going to be required. And then you can build in a whole range of development interventions to make sure that you've got skills. Now, the world may change, but it's fundamentally likely to be similar to what you were trying to move towards. And you can always adapt and build on the training program. So for me, I think, it's the planning bit and the identification of the skills gaps. That's the big thing. The planning of how you fill them is that's not really very difficult in reality, is it?
And does AI play a role in that from your perspective?
I don't see any reason why not, because I'm sure you could go into generative AI and go, we are running an engineering function. What would the engineer in 5 years or 10 years time look like? And I'm sure they could give you a pretty good answer, whether it be exactly right for your organization, but it would give you enough. And if you then said, well, what would a development program be like if we were working with, I don't know, graduates with 2 or 3 job experience afterwards, and we wanted to turn them into those type of engineers? I think they'd give you a pretty good, a starting point. And I think that's the point. It doesn't give you a definitive answer, but it gives you a starting point in terms of that side of AI. But AI is going to become really powerful as a learning tool because, in reality, people can learn in real time with machine learning. It can adapt from the reality and give people interfaces and simulation exercises and all sorts of things which will enable them to learn that much quicker based on stuff which is very close to the reality of what they'll be dealing with. So I think AI has got a huge role to play.